when I saw you on stage, so we're both members of the Dames. I've talked about the Dames before, and we'll put a link to the Dames in the show notes as well. And you delivered the bitch slap of truth at the latest Funference last October. Really blew me away. So let's talk about, how not to be tone deaf and how to position yourself as an authority who can solve the problems that people are experiencing today.
Okay, got it. Yeah, so once you understand, it's actually really exciting, Deb. Like you said before, once you understand, okay, we're in this crowded marketplace. There's all these people that have been let down by $10,000 courses and also by $100,000 consultants, all that kind of thing, right? And so we just want to make sure that we say something that they've never heard before.
Yes.
It's really that simple. And not only something they've never heard before, but we say a bitch slap of truth is a messaging that challenges what they are hearing from everyone else, right? So first you figure out, okay, who's going to be your we call it MLC, most lucrative client. That's the client, that's the target client we talked about. That's the person who's got the most money to pay. We love acronyms. We call it ATP, ability to pay. Are you going after a pool of people who have massive ability to pay? And do they have eagerness to pay? Okay, so first we're going to figure out who those people are that have ability and eagerness to pay. Secondly, we're going to think about, okay, right now it is spring 2025. And I know Deb is my target client, let's just say. I'm going to think about what has Deb heard? What is Deb hearing from every other person? Where's her current information that she's getting about, let's just say, marketing or messaging or LinkedIn, which are the three things I do, right? So I want to challenge something that you've heard from every other person, because we know from a sales position that is so challenging the dominant idea, challenging dominant perspectives, getting people to think differently is one of the most powerful sales drivers you can have. So then again, like a really simple example of a bitch slap for truth, it's not one I invented, but it's just such a good one, is like the first diet/exercise nutrition person who used the sentence, abs are made in the kitchen.
Love that.
And I don't know who that person is. I should find out, but I'm sure that T knows. But the point is, all these people are doing all this work to show you that the way you get abs is all these sit-ups and exercise. This person is pointing out, he's challenging the entire marketplace. And he's basically saying, you can do all the crunches, the sit-ups, the planks, the poles, anything you want, but abs are made in the kitchen. And what that means is, until you stop eating so much food or different food, you aren't going to see the abs you already have.
Yes.
So that, yeah.
And I think another example that maybe my clients have heard me say before, and listeners certainly have heard it, is, when it comes to pricing, people always say, well, what am I worth? I want to price my worth. And I always say, no one's buying your self-worth. They're buying a solution to a very expensive problem. So we coined the term return on advantage. It didn't exist in the marketplace. No one had used it. And so it enabled us to create a formula for how you calculate return on advantage for your clients, which enables you to charge exponentially more than your self-worth would ever allow you to. So,
and then I assume you say ROA.
Yeah, ROA.
Okay. So then the way you would bring that in is, and I'm sure you do, is like basically, hey, to Deb's listeners, you've thought about ROI, but we don't care about that anymore. Now we care about ROA, right? And then you introduce the idea. Yeah. So one of the things that when we work with anyone, whether it's somebody very, very famous and well-known or someone who's newer in the world starting out, we are always looking for that challenge, that it's not just it's not just like a marketing phrase, right? Like it's got to change someone's opinion and position in seconds. So if I'm spending all this time trying to figure out how much I'm worth, how much my thing is worth, and then I come across 2 sentences from Deb Boulanger about return on advantage, instantly my mind has changed.